The Turtle Story. Once upon a time, in a far, far away land, there was a little village. Not exactly a village, more like a little settlement composed only by turtles. Not exactly turtles, more like tortoises, because turtles live at sea, kind of like pirates, but that's a completely different story. And that little place that the turtles lived in, not only it was in a faraway land, it was also in the middle of the forest. So every night, a different turtle would just put a vest on him and would take his sword and, with his vest, put some starbursts in their pocket, because, in the middle of the night they can get hungry and, the mango flavored ones, because they're the best. So every night a different turtle would go up the guarding tower and guard the entire village, small settlement composed only by turtles, at night. And one night it was the turn of Jimmy, the stuttering turtle, to go up the guarding tower. And that night Jimmy just put his little vest on, took his sword, and started climbing up the guard tower. Climbing up the guard tower. All the little turtles went to sleep, because it was the third bell, and they were good turtles. The hours went by, and in the middle of the night, Jimmy looked around, and do you know what did Jimmy see? He saw a bald cat just, going all around in the middle of the forest and looking just straight at him. But, he didn't care about bald cats because they're kind of nice and, well, they don't do anything. They don't harm turtles. So just, kept watching around. And then, just, something like 3 a.m., you saw something in the midst of the forest. Do you know what it was? Well, I'll tell you. It was a Portuguese water dog. Unlike, much different than this dog, the Portuguese water dog is a hypoallergic dog that, well, President Obama has. But that's a different story. So the turtle, Jimmy the stuttering turtle, didn't care about the Portuguese water dog, because Portuguese water dogs are not really a threat for turtles. 2 hours passed. It was around 5 a.m. when suddenly Jimmy the stuttering turtle spotted something in the horizon. It was a big gray wolf with fangs and teeth. Well, fangs and teeth are the same, and claws and hair and all the things that compose a big bad wolf. So Jimmy the stuttering turtle thought to himself what to do, and he was thinking, how can I wake up the entire village, small settlement composed only by turtles? And he said, "It's a woo! It's a woo! It's a woo woo woo!" Because the wolf was running around, getting closer and closer to the village. Woo woo woo! It's a woo 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 woo! And no one woke up. None of the little turtles woke up. And he said, "It's a woo woo woo!" And no one woke up. The mean wolf went into the forest and ate half of the turtles in the turtle village. Morning grows. It was flagpole. All the turtles came to flagpole. Well, half of the turtles came, because half were in the big bad wolf's stomach. Half of the turtles were looking at Jimmy and saying, "Jimmy, tell us what happened last night. Where are half of the turtles?" And Jimmy looked at them and said, "Well, last night there was a woo woo woo," and I said, "It's a woo woo woo, a woo," and you didn't wake up because I said, "It's a woo woo, ah." So all the other turtles told him, "Well, Jimmy, next time you see a wolf, you can just say, 'It's a wolf.' We'll understand, we hear it, we'll wake up, and we'll come and we'll get the wolf." So Jimmy said, "Ok, ok, ok, all right." 2 weeks later, again, it was Jimmy's turn to go up the guarding tower and look at all of the little turtles. Well, it was Jimmy's turn to guard the little town again. It was around 2 a.m. when Jimmy looked in the middle of the forest. And he saw, do you know what did Jimmy see? He saw a big, giant whale just flying out of the sky and landing in the middle of the forest. It was odd. Whales are kinda nice and they don't do anything to turtles. 2 hours later, around 4 a.m., he saw something sneaking and jumping around in the forest. It was a llama with a silly llama face, just jumping around. So, you know, he didn't care about llamas. They had silly faces. They kind of amused him. He took another little starburst from his pocket. It was the mango flavored one, which is the best one. And an hour later, he looked into the forest and he saw something. You know what it was? It was a big, gray, not a dog. It was a wolf with fur and fangs and all the things that compose a big, bad wolf. He looked at the wolf and he pointed at the wolf and he said, "It's a wolf." And he couldn't remember how to say wolf. And he said, "It's a wolf." And no one woke up. And he said, "It's a wolf." And then he remembered to say, "It's a wolf." And all the little turtles woke up and they took the little machetes and they took their spears. So suddenly the camera stopped working and they were, you know, there was a big jump cut. But they took their swords and they took their spears and they took their AK-47s and they took their shotguns and they looked at the wolf and they shot at the wolf and the wolf was dead. So everybody was so happy and they took Jimmy the stuttering turtle on their shoulders and Jimmy said hip hip and everybody said hooray, and Jimmy said hip hip and everybody said hooray, and Jimmy said hip hip, and a giant hippo came out of the forest and ate them all.